Shalom, Akim Shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to start off by giving our glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachakwadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught us this truth. A sincere shalom to the hopeful like that's out there, listening, learning, and or teaching in truth and sincerity. Shalom. Hey, so check this out. It says, this article says, deadly bat-borne illness with no cure is spreading in India with epidemic potential as new cases emerge. You see? So, we could take a trip to the past, back to 2019, 2020. Remember how these devils ran that play. All right? And we've said it before, they may very well run the same play again. Okay, now is the perfect timing with these ICE raids, these people wanting to go into civil war the way it looks. The powers, the elites are trying to egg people into a civil war so that this devil Trump can have a reason to call martial law. Okay? All right, and it's all heading towards that NWO, man. Every emergency situation, they bring out more draconian measures. They make a lot of progress towards that chip. Okay? Everything becomes more technological. Right? Remember when C-19 happened, everything went online. Even people started working from home. Doing therapy from home, doing doctor's visits from home. You see? And it's perfect timing, man, because now they got these digital IDs they're rolling out everywhere. Okay, and like we say, ultimately it's going to become a chip, man. So this is going to play a huge role in that technology. And at the same time, a lot of people are going to be put to death. Because you can remember when Gil Bates had said, if the last one didn't phase you, something along them lines. I might be butchering it, but something along the lines of, is the last one didn't phase you, this one will get your attention. And he said it with that ominous look on his face, that sinister look, So, hey, this one may very well be the same play, but best believe that this next one is actually going to put a lot of people to death. All right, remember, these devils need, like their Georgia Guidestones say, keep the population under what? Under 200 million? Something along the lines, or is it what, 500 million? But you get the point. They want to reduce the population. All right. They want to get their blessing on the left hands. They want to get their blessing back, which they're not going to be able to, man. Ultimately, it's all based on, this whole reality is based off the prophecies of the Lord, of the scriptures. All right. And the Lord's word will not go out void, man. And this is a part of prophecy. Okay, we're going to grab Matthew chapter 24, verse 7. It says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. Right? We see that happening now. And there shall be famines and pestilences. Okay, I want to grab this word pestilences in the Greek. Let's get that word pestilence real quick. G3061.
Strong's G 3061. Loimas. Loimas.
Loimas. It means pestilence, a pestilent fellow, pest, a plague. You see? And we get both of these definitions. Let's get the one for pestilence first. What is a pestilence in the regular dictionary? A fatal epidemic, dis-ease, you see? Especially bubonic plague. All right, so now we go to plague. What is a plague? Okay, a contagious bacterial dis-ease characterized by fever and delirium, typically with the formation of buboes. See, so it's talking about illnesses, all right, of uncertain affinity. A plague, literally the dis-ease, or figuratively a pest, a pestilence, right? It's going into, an illness, okay? So with that, we're gonna go back into this article, and we're gonna go into it, man. This was posted on the 24th of January, just 4 days ago. It says Indian health officials are scrambling to contain a deadly illness after 5 cases of the incurable illness were detected near one of the country's biggest cities. The bat-borne Nipah illness, you see, hey, just like the first plate, it came from bats, allegedly, right? Supposedly it came from bats, right? It didn't come from Esau's lab. You see, hey, this devil is whipping these things up. Now, of course, it could be. We do know ultimately the Lord sends these plagues, but whether He's sending them through Esau or whether He's sending them organically, all right, the result is going to be the same, man. All right, it says the bat-borne Nipah illness. Let's get that word Nipah. What does it mean? Real quick, just to see. Nipah meaning. Usually refers to a deadly zoonotic illness that spreads from animals, specifically fruit bats and pigs. Okay. All right. Yeah, it says it's been identified in West Bengal, close to the state capital, Kolkata, India's third most populous city, prompting urgent contact tracing and quarantines. Boom. Hey, urgent. They quickly started doing it. Hey, so, this thing's only been 4 days since this article has been posted. And honestly, I had heard about this maybe a few days ago. So, looks like it's moving quick. Whatever agenda they have with this illness. All right, they already got the quarantines. And it's perfect because now they have this police state with ICE. They got the National Guard out there constantly. They got ICE out there constantly. Okay, Trump may very well use these this ICE situation to force more draconian measures, man. Okay, you got to remember that's in the works too. These devils have something big planned for you people, man. All right, and we say it all the time, gradualism, but eventually gradualism is going to speed up to a point where it's not going to be gradual anymore. We remind you the play that was ran in 2020. That shit was not gradual, man. That shit came out of nowhere and changed everybody's lives very quickly, man. Changed our lives, man. All right, we may have lost loved ones. We may have, lost jobs. May have had to stay home more often, wear these goddamn masks and shit like that. Which, yeah, man, it's a lot of inconveniences that came of it, draconian measures. All right. But anyway, we can keep it going. It says authorities confirmed that 3 new infections were reported this week, according to officials cited by the Press Trust of India news agency. And India is a huge country as far as population. I believe it's the most populous country in the world. What is the most populous country in the world? India is the most populated country in the world, having recently surpassed China with over 1.4 billion people. Followed closely by China. Hey, so they started it in these populous areas. Remember, they started it in China last time. Hey, now they're doing it in India. India has more people. All right. Do a lot of flights worldwide come from India. Let's see. Yes, a significant and rapidly growing number of flights originate from India, which is now the world's 3rd largest civil aviation market. Boom. As of early 2026, Indian carriers command a larger share of international traffic, over 43%, and serve dozens of countries across Asia, Europe, and North America. Hey, it's perfect. The stage is set. The stage is set for excuses to come out. Oh, it's all the flights coming in and going out. And I don't know if it's in this article or in another one. It was talking about how they're doing They're doing all type of checks at airports now because of this illness that's going around. You see? So, with that many people in India, right, the way they can make it spread quicker. Okay, coming in and out of India, how many, boats and shit like that, and travel across the borders and shit like that, right? Causing other places to get the illness as well, other people to get it as well. All right, so hey, Lord's will, this be it, man. This could be the thing that makes everything go into hyperdrive real quick, man. These devils are bullshitting a lot. Even though things are moving fast, all right, hey, Lord's will, they move faster, man. All right, let's see. Authorities confirmed that 3 new illnesses were reported this week, according to officials cited by the Press Trust of India news agency. They include a doctor, a nurse, and health staff member. 2 nurses, 1 male and 1 female, had already tested positive earlier. Both were working at the private Narayana multi-specialty hospital in Barasat, around 15 miles north of Kolkata. Narayam Swarup Nigam, the principal secretary of the Department of Health and Family, said one of the 2 nurses in critical condition after both developed high fevers and respiratory illnesses or issues between New Year's Eve and January 2nd, the Telegraph reports. The critically ill nurse, who is now in coma, is believed to have contracted the illness while treating a patient suffering from severe respiratory problems. Man, that's the same shit as last time. The patient died before tests could be carried out. Yeah. There's a lot of talk about this thing, man. Let's see if we could get the news. Just pull it up real quick. Spreading in India. Let's see, Nipah illness airports. Real quick. Yeah. Hey, look at this. Airports across Asia reintroduce C-19 style health checks after outbreak of deadly Nipah illness in India. Hey, they're going back. All right, this could very well be, man. All right? Just like it says here, man. This is what's coming. Matthew 24:7, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places. Okay, which we see all of these signs constantly. But, well, not the illnesses so much. That's what's getting ready to blow up. But what I'm saying is we've been bringing out these famines, these earthquakes, all right, pestilences, right? Remember the C-19. But what's going to happen is all these things are going to intensify, okay, like a woman giving birth, man. So I got a precept for that. This is 2 Ezra 16:38. As when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, right? Because you can think about the scripture that talks about the woman giving birth to that child, the child being Yahushua, man. You can think about that in the book of Revelation, okay? And just kind of roughly paraphrasing it, man, okay, is pretty much like the same thing as what's getting ready to happen here, man. A woman giving birth, and the giving birth represents Yahushua's return. Okay, so with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment, right? So the child's about to be born. What does it mean? The pain intensifies, right? Verse 39 is going to tell you what it means. Even so shall not the plagues, right? We just read about plagues, right? And ultimately the plagues are all these evils that are coming upon the earth. These things that are part of prophecy, okay? Which Pestilence is one of them, right? Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, right? You remember C-19, man. People were depressed. People took their own lives. You know, the whole world became more depressed, man, on a very high level. And sorrows shall come upon it on every side, right? On every side, man. If you're not getting kidnapped by ICE, thrown in concentration camps, getting your ass whooped, put to death, getting sacrificed, or getting raped, okay, you're going to catch a plague that's going to be worse than C-19. You see, so the Lord is setting it up, man. This is Jacob's trouble. We've been telling you, man. And it's a high likelihood that this illness kicks off to a very high level, just like C-19, man. And all these evils that are happening are going to continue. Inflation is going to turn into hyperinflation. All right? Insurrections are going to happen. Martial law will be called. Draconian measures will be implemented. Okay? And they're going to speed the fuck up out of this chip process, man. This infrastructure that they still building for the chip, the AI, all that shit, they're going to have to put that shit into hyperdrive, man. You know, because once they introduce that chip, they got to get everybody chipped up quick. That's going to be a quick operation. They're not going to waste no time with that, man. And this could very well be the start of it. This will be the perfect excuse, right? You also got World War III brewing. Boots are going to be on the ground everywhere, right? The draft coming back, okay? That's why the scriptures say, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. It's not just going to be one thing here, one thing there. It's going to be everywhere. And again, I want to emphasize the woman in travail, right? Because it's intensifying. Okay, I'm going to read it again. 2 Kings 16:38. As when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Right, they slack not a moment. In the same way, all hell's going to be breaking loose. It's not going to slack for a moment. Here we are in January 28th of 2026. And it's been a new headline every fucking day. Since the beginning of this year, it's just started with a huge bang. And it's just, we constantly glued to the news, man. It's one thing after another, man. All right, so that shows you we're getting to that time where the baby's about to be delivered, man. All right, and this is a time of judgment for our people. Okay, you got to understand 2/3 of our people are going to die here in America, you know, in Jacob's trouble, and in the Third World War going nuclear, the thermonuclear destruction of America. A lot of our people are going to be incinerated. Okay, but the Lord promises, salvation from these things, and ultimately salvation from that great destruction. Okay, in the scriptures, man. This is Psalms chapter 91 and verse 9. Because thou hast made Yahweh, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. Right? Because you stayed in this truth, you stayed diligent, you endured. Okay, what does it say? Verse 10. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague, right? There's that word again, plague, come nigh thy dwelling, man. So we're going to be all right in this time. You know, the elect, Lord's will be of the elect, we're going to be taken care of in Jacob's trouble. We're going to be taken care of when the plagues come out, when the pestilences come out, just like C-19. Hey, this could be C-19 on steroids. We're going to be all right, man, as long as we stay in this truth, keep praying, keep believing, you know, get into the herbs, man. You know, faith is what activates those herbs, man, those different cures that we have, man. Our people were very talented at this back in the day, and then that art is a lost art now, but we could still pray to the Lord. The Lord will bring that knowledge back to us, man. You know, because the scriptures talks about that in the book of Sirach. Let's get that real quick. You know, now is the time to start making these, man. All right, this is Sirach chapter 38 and 4. The Lord hath created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them. That's right, man. So don't any of you Jakes out here think about getting no goddamn jump shot. No VAXINE. Don't be getting that shit. Okay, that shit is poison. That shit will kill you. All right, so we're telling you right here, you can get natural remedies, okay, and prayer and faith in Yahweh Shem Shai. First and foremost, we're gonna be all right, man. All right, you want to finish your course, like the scriptures say. You want to endure to the end, man. All right, because what's coming to this world is very ugly. All right, and we want to be in our right mind, doing what we're supposed to, man. This is Isaiah 33:6. Okay, real quick. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, right? The wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of this truth, the correct 100% true doctrine of the Bible. You know, that's the doctrine we teach here at Great Millstone. That's the doctrine that if you have, it's going to keep you sane, because we've been saying all these things are going to happen for years, for decades, man. And this doctrine is going to keep you sane in this insane world, you know, because the Lord told us so, right? And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, right? It's going to be our mental stability. It's going to keep us sane. It says, and strength of salvation, right? You know, how are you going to endure and resist the chip if you didn't even know this shit would happen, bro? If this shit catches you unaware, it's like, you know, if somebody breaks into your house in the middle of the night, they could beat your ass if you don't know what's going on. But if you have been preparing for somebody to break into your house for decades, motherfucker, when that guy comes in, all right, you're already going to have the perfect plan to beat his ass, okay? You might be hiding behind a door. You might have a fucking trap door in front of your door. You might set booby traps all over the house. It might be impossible for anybody to break into your house at that point. All right, let that be a metaphor for how we need to prepare our minds for what's coming, man. If our minds are prepared, this ain't gonna catch us off guard. And in fact, I believe through the Spirit, it's just gonna give us more faith and more belief and build us up even more. Because it's like, yeah, hey, everything's going according to plan, man. You see? Yeah, this is the strength of our salvation. This wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. This water, this bread, which is this word. It says, the fear of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is his treasure. That's right, man. Fearing the Lord, doing what the Lord commanded of us to do. That's all that matters. Okay? This is Ecclesiastes 12:13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh and keep his commandments. For this is the whole duty of man. This is why we were created. To follow the commandments of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, right? Okay, and nowadays it's more than just the technicalities of the law, which we made videos about that, man. But, you know, it's also faith, justice, mercy, okay, being loving your brothers, okay, loving Yahweh Hashem Yahushua in sincerity, right? We're not saved by the law, but we're in agreement with the law that it is perfect, and we know that it's through what? Through faith, right? Just like Abraham was justified, just like all these different prophets were justified, you know, read Hebrews 11, right? So faith is part of the law, man. Okay, ultimately, it's a command to have faith. You see? I'm going to read it again. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For the Most High shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. That's right. So those of you that have been wicked, those of you that haven't been doing what you're supposed to, scoffing, talking shit about this truth, being unsincere, not sincere, eh? You're going to end up with ice. You're going to end up with the Nipah illness. You're going to end up getting put to death by the sword. You're going to end up with famine, pestilence, whatever, man. The Lord has a special death prepared for you wicked Israelites. And like we say in every video, man, it's the time to repent. All right? But you brothers out there, brothers and sisters, Akima Akwath, doing what you're supposed to. Hey, pay attention, man. Look what's happening, man. You know, be careful out here. Be circumspect. All right? and always staying in this truth. Keep staying prayed up, and staying in them scriptures, man. Don't get involved with these goddamn protests. Don't get involved with these Black Panthers. That's all folly. That's all. Ultimately, that's set up by Esau anyway. That's not our fight. We're just gonna stay on the sidelines, praying to Yahweh Shem Yahshua, having faith, preaching His word, if you're called to do so. And at the end of the day, man, we are awaiting our salvation, man, which is coming from the heavens. All right, it's not gonna be coming through any carnal means. It's not gonna be coming through a chip. It's not gonna be coming through a jump shot, through a fucking bag of money, through guns. None of that shit, man. It's a spiritual warfare, and ultimately salvation is from the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right, so with that, I want to finish by giving all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakodash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught us this truth. A sincere shalom to the hopeful elect that's out there listening, learning, and or teaching the truth in sincerity. Shalom wa, abba ba, shalom.